Hello mathematicians, puzzlers, and other curious people. In this video, we are talking about how to calculate your GPA, and in order to make that easy, we are going to use a spreadsheet to handle a lot of the weighted average calculations. So here's the spreadsheet program I'm using, good old Google Sheets. You can also use Microsoft Excel or LibreOffice Calc or OpenOffice Calc, very similar program. It doesn't really matter what spreadsheet program you use, they'll all do pretty much the same thing. So here I have a hypothetical student who in a particular semester is taking a math class, biology, history, and literature. Their math and biology classes are both 4 credits, and their history and literature classes are both 3 credits. What grades do they get in these classes? Well, let's suppose they get a B in biology and a C in their math class, but they get A's in both history and literature. Maybe they're more of a humanities-oriented kind of a person as far as what they have an aptitude for and where they prefer to spend their time. The next thing they probably want to know is, what's their GPA? I know it's something very respectable, but let's find out for sure. So to calculate a GPA, that's a weighted average of their numerical grades. So a C is equivalent to a 2 on a 4-point scale, a B is equivalent to a 3, and an A is equivalent to a 4. Now, if we just average those out, we'll leave out an important fact that the math and biology classes were weighted as 4 credit instead of 3 credit classes. So here's how we deal with that. First, we need to know the total number of credits in their semester. This is something that you need to know about mathematicians. Mathematicians are lazy. But mathematicians are a particular kind of lazy, where we don't mind doing the work that's necessary, we just don't want to do work that's extra. We just want to get the result. We like to work efficiently. So because mathematicians are lazy, mathematicians have worked efficiently by inventing spreadsheets that can do the arithmetic for us. And so then we can just tell the spreadsheet what arithmetic we want done. In this case, I want to calculate a sum, so I'll use the equal sign so that the spreadsheet knows that I want it evaluated. And in this case, this spreadsheet is particularly helpful and gave a suggestion of what I might want done. In this case, it's right. Sometimes it's wrong. So always check what it offers, but I'm going to go with this. If yours doesn't offer you something that looks right, just type in sum, open parentheses, and then your starting cell and your ending cell of what you want added up. Okay, so they took 14 credits. What difference does that make? Each class is kind of a certain percentage or a certain proportion of that semester. So we calculate that the usual way by using the part out of whole formula. So math is, well, this is wrong. This is trying to multiply. And what I want to know is just the weight of the class. So I'm going to say I want to take that 4 and divide it by the 14 total credits in that semester. Now, when I say mathematicians are lazy, I'm not kidding. One thing we like to do once we've got a formula set up is just drag it on down and autofill. Uh-oh, it's saying it's trying to divide by 0. What went wrong? Well, when we dragged it on down, it looked at the next row down for where to get its data for the formula. So it looked correctly at the 4 credits in this cell for biology, but it looked incorrectly at the next row down for the whole that was the part of. So here's how we fix that. This is just spreadsheet language. You have to just remember this. If you want it to stay in place, use a $sign. One good memory trick for that is that a $sign is like an S for stay put. Then, and now it's got an autofill, and it's trying to be helpful. Let's let it try and then make sure that that worked correctly. So see how now it's staying on that 14? That's right. And right on through. Good. Now we don't actually need this one here, so I'll delete that. But you should always expect that these would add up to 1, so I'm going to do that to check. Sum, yes, I want a sum of these right here. Okay, and it does add up to 1. If you change this to percentages, you should see 100%. Now, if I want to know the contribution to GPA for each class, I just take the numerical grade and multiply that by the weight of the class. So that 2 will get multiplied by the weight. And I see it's trying to help me out. Very helpful, but it messed up a little bit at the end here. So this seems kind of weak for a minute because we've got a 0.57, a 0.857. Those don't seem like good contributions to a GPA. But wait, instead of trying to multiply these together or average them out or something, all we need to do, since it's already been divided as part of calculating the weight, all we need to do is add these up. And see, it tries to help add. And I see their GPA is a 3.1428, blah, 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 etc. So a GPA that's slightly more than pi. Quite respectable. Now, one thing people sometimes wonder is, what would it be better to do? Raise one grade or raise another? So let's try that out. If instead they got a B in their math class, they'd have a 3.42 GPA. On the other hand, if instead they got an A in their biology class, well, that's also a 3.42. Oh, or wait, 3.43 in both cases because the 8 rounds it up. So in this case, it doesn't matter because they both are 4-credit classes. Another thing a person might want to know is what happens if one of their grades slipped. So if their grade in biology slipped to a C, okay, so in that case they have a 2.86. That's still definitely passing. It might not be enough for some scholarship. Now, on the other hand, if their history class slipped from an A to a B, that's less of a change. But anyway, here is their final GPA. You can use this tool right here, the paint bucket, to highlight that to show which is your final answer. So that is how you can use a spreadsheet to help you calculate your GPA. So try that out anytime you're wondering what GPA you might end up with at the end of the semester based on how you're doing in your classes. And you can use the same technique for other weighted averages. You just might assign the numerical grades, like the values for each data item, differently. Calculator!